Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about the differences between leadership styles. And I'm going to say that most people practice something called spreadsheet leadership. So this is a term I came up with yesterday. And there's a lot of people out there who practice this in businesses. And in fact, it happens in many other places in life where they're focused on numbers on a spreadsheet and they're not focused on the content of what makes up the spreadsheet, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you an example, a personal example. So let's say you're focused on losing weight, right? If you're focused on losing weight, and you could do it one of two ways. You could do it by just weighing yourself on a scale every single day and then being obsessed with that certain number, or you can eat healthy, right? You can eat healthy, cut out all the fast food, make all your food at home, eat healthy, and heck, you might even gain a little bit of weight. And that might not be a bad thing because you might have been skin and bones, and because you ate so badly, you didn't have any muscle or anything like that, and you could have gained a little bit of weight, right? But if you just look at the scale itself, that number itself is meaningless without understanding content. And it's kind of like another example of this is education, right? So there are a lot of people out there who like getting good grades and not learning anything, right? So, for example, let's say that I'm taking a Spanish class, I get an A in it. I'm excited, but I don't care if I can speak Spanish fluently or not, right? A lot of that out there. And this especially applies to how most businesses are led. So, there are a lot of businesses out there that can be led terribly and still make a lot of money just because you have a core product that will essentially sell itself like Coke, right? Unless like you're going to really screw up and make stupid decisions and do something like sell new Coke. Okay. But in many businesses, the way that leadership is conducted is just that the people who lead the business are so focused on just profits and numbers that they don't try to understand how they can improve the core of their businesses or figure out ways to make the lives of the people who make the business, the employees, better, right? Like maybe we have some inefficiencies. Let's go try to change certain things. Let's do what I call A and B testing. So I don't know if you ever heard of like A and B testing with marketing. Um, for example, if you're doing marketing and you send 100 letters, 50 of them you send with like a picture of a face, 50 of them you send a picture of, um, a building, right? Which ones gets more responses? Same thing with, figuring out what's best for your employees, okay? But a lot of leaders, right? They don't do that. They don't practice what we would call the law of addition. This is from a book called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And the law of addition is that leaders add value by serving others. If you turn your focus to serving your employees and your customers, profits will increase naturally. And this is why, if you just do a good job of helping others, you don't have to focus on the spreadsheet. Whereas if all you do is just focus on the spreadsheet, all you're doing is just freaking out that you're not reaching a certain number and you're doing nothing on the back end to help the people who make up your teams and businesses, right? So this is something that's really important that's not practiced today because too many people, business leaders in America, are just practicing spreadsheet leadership, right? They're just looking at the spreadsheet, looking at a number, and they're not looking at the context behind the number or how to add value so that the number naturally goes up. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read an excerpt of this, the law of addition, again, from the 21 Refutable Laws of Leadership. So it says, in his chapter about the law of addition, John Maxwell writes, the best place for a leader isn't always the top position. It isn't the most prominent or powerful place. It's the place where he or she can serve the best and add the most value to other people. And then he shares the example of Jim Sinegal, former CEO of Costco, right? And let me just skip this part here. Sinegal himself made an effort to visit every Costco store at least once a year because he says no manager and no staff in any business feel very good if the boss isn't interested enough to come and see them. In return, Costco has a high employee loyalty and low turnover rate. Now, I don't know if that's true nowadays because, again, this is the former CEO of Costco, but again, he's practicing the law of addition and he understands, unlike, he's not practicing spreadsheet leadership where he's just looking at a spreadsheet and never visiting like the store floor. And there are plenty of leaders, right? I even heard that there was like a conference of one um, well-known retail store in a certain city, and they never visited a store in that city, right? Crazy, right? But again, if you're a leader who is able to understand what's going on on the ground floor of your business, then you are so much more valuable than your typical person who just looks at a spreadsheet and say, hey, things must be good because we hit our target numbers, rather than, and next quarter all your employees are burned out, so you're quitting, right? And so that's going to affect your bottom line on the next quarter. But because there's such an emphasis on short-term thinking, we don't, we're always hustling to get to where we want to be and freaking out, rather than making sure if we have the right systems in place in the beginning and doing things right, we don't have to hustle. And like it says here, profits or whatever your goal is will increase naturally, right? Focus on serving others, focus on helping other people. If you do that and make that your priority, then your goal that you're trying to get, you'll be able to achieve easily. All right, so this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining our group, I'm always making a plug for the group at the at the end. I don't say end of the call, but it's the end of the video. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google Form link below, and we'll get on one-on-one intro Zoom call. Other than that, have a great day, and let's see if I can crank out a few more videos today. Bye, everybody.